Hello and welcome to another episode of Journey to the Chateau and happy American Thanksgiving one day early.
Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à Journey to the Château de Colombe.
Nun zu unseren Freunden aus dem deutschsprachigen Raum. Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Episode von Journey to the Chateau. Erntedank, amerikanisches Erntedank, einen Tag zu früh. Wie dem auch sei, ein voller Tisch.
Yeah, so big Thanksgiving dinner here, right?
Yes.
Bigger than last year.
Yes.
And the good thing is that we got to do it with the new kitchen instead of the old original kitchen.
Yes, all the preparation work is much easier, and making the turkey, which is in pieces. No, I did not get the whole turkey.
No.
But once we get that all going in the oven, we have the space. We have the space to keep all the side dishes warm. So last year we had lovely side dishes that by the time the turkey was done, the side dishes were cold.
They were cold, yeah.
The oven was just old.
Yeah.
And it was a disaster. Well, that part. But it was still a fun time. This year we will have quite some, we have, hold on, 12 people from 6 countries and 3 continents. So it's pretty international here.
It was. And other thing is that Pat, you had decided that you were going to make some fudge.
Yes, I made fudge. So we are celebrating Thanksgiving one day early. Always a good day to give thanks, isn't it? Anyways, so it's very early, and since we are cooking everything, now we do have to give a huge thank you to Florence, who came yesterday and already helped a lot. I am now making our starter, that is pumpkin soup. These wonderful bright orange small pumpkins. They look like a little bit of a, I don't know, they'll have a little pokey part on the top. Very cute. We also have, for dessert, Stuart made an amazing bundt, sticky chocolate cake with cranberries in a bundt form. It's delicious. Everyone who tried it said, okay, what are the other people eat? We also, just to satisfy any sweet toothers, I mastered the art of fudge making. And so we have maple fudge and chocolate fudge. There will be 2 different stuffings. There will be turkey, not a whole turkey. It's going to be 2 turkey breasts and 2 turkey legs. That's plenty for us. Good Lord, Stuart, what else do we have? Mashed potatoes, tartiflette. Tartiflette is potatoes with crème fraîche.
And cheese?
Yes, reblochon, cheese, and bacon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit decadent, don't you think? It's lovely. Green beans, we have, 2 different kinds of stuffing. So one is a vegetarian stuffing, one is a French stuffing, which also contains sausage meat. And then there's going to be leeks, and it's going to be a lot of cooking today. And Stuart is going to finish setting up the dining room, which he already started. And for the first time, we're going to get everyone who comes in is going straight into the Grand Salon, where there's cocktails and an hour and a half of chatting before dinner is served. So completely new for us, and it is really the United Nations. We have Irish, English, French. Actually, the French are the majority, which it should be. We are in France. German, and American and Australian. So it is truly international, and I'm really pleased.
So I'm cleaning up champignons de Paris, and they are a substitute. So if you have vegetarians, pescatarians, and you want them to have stuffing, and in France, because we are international, so we have to cater to every taste, so to speak. There is ground meat in there with spices and in the stuffing. So what I'm doing is I'm making a dish with onions, or a sauté with onions, butter, and mushrooms, coarsely chopped mushrooms, and that goes in a separate. It's the same base with vegetables and bread, but this goes in, and it's for people who are vegetarians, who can actually then have their stuffing too. So Jane told me to record this, and I will. This is not a full regular cooking episode, but this is fudge. I'm making another batch of fudge for Thanksgiving. The first batch I made was maple syrup or maple fudge. It's delicious, with a hint of milk chocolate. This is going to be regular chocolate vanilla fudge, but there will be a little bit of maple syrup in it too, because it just makes it taste really, really good. And so what I'm going to do for the next good 10 minutes, because the butter just is all melted, what I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes is stirring. And there's no fun in that. And especially since it needs to come to a boil, and it needs to come to the 115 degree centigrade point for it to actually solidify. And then you need to boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And 10 is usually fine. But after that, you let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you start beating it. And until it comes to a point that it is no longer shiny. Because when you look at the top now, you see that there's the sheen to it, and that it stays that way. But the moment it loses its sheen, good grief, it's ready to be poured in a pan and to settle. Now, we started this morning at, I think, 8. And it's now 11:30, and we're not done. And this is actually a good day at the Chateau. So let's see how that all turns out. I'm gonna record when it's done. So as you can see, this is really boiling up. It's fantastic. And there are many, many different recipes for fudge. So it's now, I will boil this for about 10 minutes. I set the timer. And after that, I take it off the heat, and then I add the additional ingredients. The recipe is going to be on our community site. So it's going to be dark chocolate, 70%, milk chocolate, and vanilla. And when it comes off the heat and you put those in, you don't, you just stir one more time, and then you let it sit for a while, and then you start beating it with the spoon here. Some people use the electrical mixer. That's perfectly fine too. I like it the old way, but do whatever is best for you. And I can tell you, it smells really good already. Anyways, I'm gonna tune you back in when I'm ready to add the other ingredients. Just put the sugar thermometer in there. And I mean, look at that. That is like, oh good grief, that's like a volcano. And there are like these little darker things popping up. And we are at 100 and, oops, can you see 115 degrees? We are there. Awesome. So since you make fudge in a pot with a thick bottom, otherwise it will burn. It will still cook for a little bit, and that's fine. And it looks delicious, and it starts so light, and it actually is, I mean, whatever I see on the screen, it is darker than what it looks on the screen than from what I'm looking at. So at this point I'm adding, excuse me, just a bit of vanilla. As you know me, sorry, I'm never that precise, but that was about 2 tablespoons, sorry. And now I'm adding chocolate. This is milk chocolate, and 70% chocolate. Sorry for my camera work here. Never that great, I know. And you just stir this in a little and let it sit. So this was about 100 grams of chocolate, and that's all we're doing right now. And we're letting it sit and cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. So I have this out. I'm going to try this now, which I've never done. And still a bit hot, but the longer you beat it, the smoother it gets. I've heard, I don't know. So, this is chocolate vanilla fudge in the making, and I did add, which I did not show you, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, just for good measure. And I'm going to beat this until the whole mixture stops having a sheen. As you can see, it has a lovely sheen now. And I'm going to show you the difference when it gets there. So when you look at this, it has a little bit of a sheen in it. I'm aware of that, but it is not shiny anymore. So I'm going to pour it now into the pan. That one. So here we are. You can see there is not much of a sheen to it. So it's really quite matte. And I haven't heard anything to the contrary when I gave Stuart a little bit. And of course it's still warm. I tried it, it's delicious. And the only thing better than cut fudge is fresh warm fudge. It's delicious.
There is a reason why I made fudge. we listen a lot to, well, I don't want to make any advertisement here, but it's books that are read to you.
Right. Audiobooks.
Yes, audiobooks. And there is one murder mystery, and it's 2 of the characters are 2 old ladies who, one of them makes fudge. And every time I heard fudge and how, oh, it's so delicious, and I thought, oh, I haven't had fudge in a long time. And so finally I started making fudge, and some of that was decent. And so we have now one recipe that I kind of pulled from multiple recipes. And it's really delicious. So, I mean, it's one little cube a day, keeps the, I don't know, away. But it is quite delicious. And now I do have to correct myself, because I said we had most people from France. Now it was actually England. So it's the English invasion. So we had guests from Australia, Ireland, England, France, Germany, and the United States.
Yes.
So it was a lovely evening, and it was very late.
Yes, and one of our guests was?
Oh yes, our mayor.
Our mayor was
Again,
here
with her husband.
With her husband.
Absolutely delightful, and she is an incredibly competent and engaged mayor. So we're very, very lucky to have her here. And the big Thanksgiving dinner is always exhausting, because you start cooking and prepping 3 days prior. I mean, really, from ironing the tablecloth and the napkins to washing up and freezing things that you have to mash off.
Yeah.
So it was really, it is lovely to have Thanksgiving and to be grateful for a lot of things. And we're grateful to all of you who are watching us and supporting us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. So this Friday, we will have another episode. It will be back to renovation.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's really nice progress.
It is. So if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything.
And if you want to support the renovation of the Chateau, you can join us on Patreon.
Or you can buy us a coffee.
And we will see you on Friday.
Absolutely.
Au revoir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Goodbye. Happy Thanksgiving!
If you enjoyed this video, please use the like feature to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Journey to the Chateau YouTube channel if you would like to see more. Once you've subscribed, You can tap the notification bell in order to ring it, which will allow you to receive all notifications from our channel. Thank you.